morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told out of Voice of Radio. So today, we're going to be taking a look at Alolan Persian GX. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Another one of these Alolan Pokemon have gone and got themselves a GX card in the upcoming Remix Bout expansion. So I thought, right, time we had a little bit of a look at Persian GX. Now, our translation today comes from the lovely Joe over at Cerebi.net. And probably worth pointing out at the beginning, we did actually get a Persian GX in Unbroken Bonds. It's extremely good. It lets you search for any two cards after a GX was KO'd, etc. And it's seen a lot of play and a lot of success with Zoroark. People love it. But remember that Persian and Alolan Persian are not the same Pokemon. Also worth pointing out, there is a really nice Alolan Meowth out there that lets you draw two cards when you discard a Wait and See hammer from your hand. As it stands at the moment, we haven't actually got that Alolan Meowth outside of Japan, but that's the one to look out for. I think it's the best Alolan Meowth, so keep an eye open. Now, in terms of the basics here, 200 HP is about what we would expect from a Stage 1 GX. It's got a weakness to fighting, which is kind of annoying because of stuff like Buzzwole, but also because Pikachu and Zekrom's amazing, so people will be countering that with fighting-type Pokemon. Resistance to Psychic is great, especially in a format where Mewtwo and Mew looks like it's going to be absolutely amazing. The retreat cost of 2 is kind of annoying, but remember we are getting the new Beware, which will give you free retreat, and being a Darkness Pokemon is alright. You're not hitting a huge amount for weakness, and we've lost most of our good tricks like Devoured Field, but do remember that you have access to Weavile that can move all of your Darkness energy around the field as you like, which is redonk. It means you're going to be able to get Alolan Persian rolling much more easily. So yeah, kind of nice being a Darkness Pokemon, if not for anything other than Weavile. Now, probably the headline of this card, the most exciting thing, the thing that makes me run to my microphone, is the ability. And the ability says, prevent all effects of attacks, including damage, done to this Pokemon by your opponent's tag team Pokemon, Ultra Beasts, and Pokemon with special energy attached to them. And ladies and gentlemen, that is quite a fanciful list indeed. It includes the vast majority of Pokemon that we expect to be good after rotation. Worth pointing out at this stage that this is going to be coming out in our November set, so we do expect it to be, well, it's going to be an after rotation Pokemon, simple as that. Now, that includes a lot. Pikachu and Zekrom, well, that's a tag team Pokemon, so that's blocked. Reshiram and Charizard, that's a tag team Pokemon, that's blocked. Blacephalon, yeah, that's an Ultra Beast, that's blocked. Not to mention we've got the new Naganadel GX with a great ability. Discard an Ultra Beast from your hand, draw 3 cards. Along with the old Naganadel, which looks like it's going to be a really good deck post-rotation. And that's pretty awesome. Then, of course, you remember that our Pokemon search options are a bit bare post-rotation. But GXs, including tag teams, are going to have Cherish Ball. And then Ultra Beasts are going to have Ultra Space. And we're really being encouraged to play these Pokemon. It really is blocking the vast majority of the good Pokemon that we are going to have post-rotation. It's really, redonkulous. And that's before we get to the fact that you can block all effective attacks, including damage, done from your opponent's Pokemon with special energy attached. This just puts it into a whole new nother level of awesome. Now, to be fair, we are losing double colorless energy to rotation, which was the best and most widely played special energy. And to be honest, probably the second most widely played and best pre-rotation has been Beast Energy. But Beast Energy can only be attached to an Ultra Beast, and Ultra Beasts are being blocked anyway, which makes it kind of irrelevant. But we're getting Triple Acceleration Energy. But then again, Triple Acceleration Energy is irrelevant here. And it's seeing a huge amount of play, but this card can only be attached to Evolution Pokemon. If this card is attached to one of your Pokemon, discard it at the end of the turn. So by the time it comes around to your opponent's turn, it's not actually going to be attached, so it's gonna be irrelevant. So, I love that it blocks special energy, but there's not that many we really care about at the moment. And Beast Energy is irrelevant because you're blocking Ultra Beast anyway. And Triple Acceleration Energy is irrelevant because it's falling off anyway. And sure, you've got Super Boost Energy, and there will be decks out there that are playing things like Rainbow Energy and Unit Energy. Please don't think it's not going to see play. I'm just saying that the most relevant special energies aren't actually relevant for this ability. But we're going to get more special energy in the future, and when we get that special energy, now we're going to be rolling. This isn't just an ability for now, this is an ability for the future as well. Although, any Porygon Z decks coming along? Ha! And we know we're getting stuff like Recycle Energy, that if it gets discarded, it comes right back. That's getting reprinted for the first time since Neo Genesis, so that's kind of cool, I suppose. Now, we do need to very quickly mention the prevent all effects of attacks, including damage. So let's use Blacephalon as an example. You can't be hurt with Mind Blow. So if it just blocked damage, your opponent would use Bursting Burn to burn and confuse you and try and whittle you down. However, that won't work because it is an effect of an attack. But Burst GX would work quite nicely because it's discarding a prize card and then maybe attaching the energy. That is not an effect done to you, so it would work just nicely. And of course, this is an ability on a GX Pokemon, so it can be turned off with Power Plant. And this is a thing that makes me really apprehensive about Alolan Persian. Your opponent is in control of whether the ability is working on their turn when they're attacking. So, if they just drop a Power Plant, they can attack you, and there's nothing you can do about it. That is the biggest downside of this ability, and a lot of people are playing Power Plant. Now, in terms of the attack here, it does 120 damage for a Darkness and 2 Colorless Energy, and that's it. It's fine. It's not particularly great. It's fine. Now, the good news here is that we have one Tag Team GX that is weak to Darkness Pokemon, and that is Mimikyu and Gengar, and it is on the very low end, the lowest end of Tag Team GXs, with 240 HP. This is nice. Means you're getting a one-hit KO on that. Generally here, you're getting a one-hit KO on anything that's weak. A 2-hit KO on some Tag Team GXs, but something like Reshiram and Charizard, you're not even getting a 2-hit KO on that. A lot of them you're actually not. And even against non-GXs, you'll get stuff like Baby Blacephalon, hey Nick, and Zapdos, but you won't get stuff like Buzzwole. So actually, I'm not loving this main attack. Now, you can use Triple Acceleration Energy, and you can get the energy on there easily using Weavile. Maybe you accelerate it onto the field using Naganadel. So there's plenty of decent things about it. You can get the energy going, and it's a fine attack. But you're not KOing a whole bunch of non-GXs. You're only KOing GXs that are weak, and you're not 2-hit KOing the majority of Tag Team GXs. I'm not loving it. As for the GX attack, 1 Darkness, 2 Colorless Energy. This attack does 120 to one of your opponent's Pokemon. Damage from this attack is not affected by weakness, resistance, or any other effects on the defending Pokemon. Now, on the one hand, there are a bunch of Pokemon that are resistant to darkness. Think literally all fairy Pokemon. Although even then, even going through the resistance, you're still not getting a 2-hit KO on Gardevoir and Sylveon, because they've got 260. And you can use Shrine of Punishment, but you're hurting yourself as well, so I don't know if I'd really recommend that very much. Not hitting for weakness really sucks, because otherwise you would get a 1-hit KO on Gengar and Mimikyu. Going through other effects, I do like a lot. I do like that a lot. It means if your opponent is trying to block you with, for instance, an Alolan Persian, because you've got special energy attached, you can still go through them, which is kind of nice. I do like this. It means that Keldeo, that's got an ability which is the same as Hooper, that usually you would be blocked, you can go through, if only for one attack. But you're still only doing 120. And look, you can do this anywhere on the field. This is 120 to one of your opponent's Pokemon. It doesn't have to be the active. So you can hit something like a Malamar on the bench and get a KO. Although even then, Naganadel's got 130, so you won't get it. If a Dedenne has got 40 or more damage on, you can hit it on the bench and get a KO. But you're still doing 120, and I've just run through 120 as a number and shown you that it doesn't KO enough. In a format where our gusting options are going to be limited, at least initially, I like the idea that your opponent retreats to the bench, you don't have a Guzma because it's rotated out, but you can do 120s on the bench using this and get a KO. There are good things about this, and it will come in handy, but it just doesn't do enough damage. It really is as simple as that. It's good if you're hitting the bench. It's good if you've got a Pokemon that's blocking you that you really need to do 120 or less, but the damage as a whole isn't great. And that really sums up Alolan Persian. The damage as a whole isn't great. It doesn't really do enough damage. But it's got the ability. And the ability can buy you turn after turn after turn. And actually, if you're buying yourself turn after turn after turn and then doing 120 damage per turn, well, that, ladies and gentlemen, is a lot different. That's how you win with this. It's got to be against a deck that it's blocking, though there are many of them. And against a deck that you're blocking, job's a good un, ladies and gentlemen. Job is a good un. Outside of that, I don't think it's doing enough damage. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give this between 3 and 4 Wassies. Attacks are underwhelming. The ability could single-handedly win games. We don't give half Wassies. That would be barbaric. You know that by now. But the most important thing, as always, go nuts in the comment section while being nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWassie, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. And please do make sure you're checking out youtube.com/WassiePlays, where we talk about games that don't even have Pokemon in. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves until next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.